Hey, friends. Welcome back to another episode of Strategy Vault,
What's
number
up?
56. How's it going, Phil?
Very good, as always. And you?
Good stuff, man. Not bad, not bad. Can't complain, man.
Let's
We
go.
do we do what we can with what we have, right?
That's
And
bootstrapping.
today for this episode, we're gonna talk chapter 4 of this new book that we started reading. The Grant Cardone, well, a new book. It seems like a bit of similar information from the 10x book that we're reading, but it's packed with amazing stuff. Today we're talking chapter 4, commitment. Let me just take a little second here to say hi to everybody in the chat, see if there's anybody here with us. Well, now we have 0 people, but we will soon.
You shouldn't
we
check so
started a little
fast.
bit. We started a
Yeah,
little bit late today, but
yeah,
that's
it's
it.
fine.
That's when you have kids, huh?
Yeah,
It's
yeah. No
life
stress.
happens, stuff happens. But anyways, what's important is that we show up and we show up every single day,
Yeah,
and I love that about us.
yeah.
And yeah,
And it's
we're blessed.
alive, right? Like like some spontaneous stuff will happen. My daughter getting in the room will happen. Jordan less, a little bit less than me because he's in a more controlled environment. I am not. This is not a studio. This is my house, so it might happen. It's fine, bro. It's
For
part of the.
sure,
It's
man.
part of the. It's
It's
part
part
of
of
the
it, bro.
game. It's part of
Part
the
of the
fun.
game. It's part of the fun. Well said. So yeah, let's get into it, man. There was I unpacked some information from this chapter that we read, 10x mentor, and a lot of this stuff is stuff that we preach all the time. Success is not optional. Treat success as your obligation, not an option or a possibility. And if you believe, we spoke about this last time, but you believe success is only for a few people, you'll never achieve it. I don't know why our minds work like this sometimes, Phil. Like, you see other people having a lot of stuff. A lot of people are having, like, some people around you have some stuff. Why does it trigger this thought? And I'm not saying me, I'm saying like in some people, it triggers a thought like, oh, if that person has, you know, if
I
that person was able to achieve this, that means it limits the ability for me to get it.
yeah.
Why do some people think like this?
I think it's because people think in terms of budgets. Like and why I say this because today I was asked a question that triggered a lot of thoughts afterwards, and we spoke about this before the live. I've been asked today, um, what's your thought on money? Like as a general question, what's your thought on money? What do you think is like? What's your thought on money? And I was triggered. I was like, what do you mean? Like, how do I treat? How should I treat money? Like, I don't know, just in general. Like,
Don't
what's
spend
your
less, make more. That's your motto, Phil. Don't spend less, make more.
well, in my head, I was like, it depends because if you attach your commitment on money targets, it might you might feel lost and disconnected, and because that's what we do, right? That's what we do. That's what we all do when we're trying to find a career path. When we're starting up, we all think in terms of what's gonna bring the most to the table, and then you hear your sister telling you, yeah, me, I do this. The best way is in health. Like if you work as an infirmière, as a nurse, you have work for, like, yes, but no, because it doesn't work that way. You working as a nurse doesn't make your sister a good nurse, and she might not like it just because it brings to the table a lot of money or a lot of financial security. Doesn't mean that it will bring security to that person. So you might go to work scared to death every morning because you're just not made for this. So we have to be made for something. You have to look for that first. And to that question, like, what do you think about money? Like, how should we treat money? I was like, well, you shouldn't treat money and in any type of way, because money will come to you if you're doing something that's resolving problems, that's fixing something. To if you're bringing value, but people have a hard time understanding bringing value. So let's use it like more in a more let's use a proper image. You know, if you're in an industry that you know for a fact that governments are trying to close down because it's polluting too much, or because it's you're I don't know, like I don't know how you could make it in like fields, like I don't know. It's up to you. If you feel
But
like
how do you see it though, Phil? Like, how do you look at money? Do you look at money like a tool? Is it? It's a like some people have different views about money, right? Some people are scared. Some people like they hold it close to them, like they think that they have to save it. And then there's some people that think that on the opposite spectrum, they're like, oh no, like the more like the way you think, entrepreneur, like, no, I have money, I want to spend it. I use it as a tool. I look at money like me personally, I look at it like a soldier, like each. And Kevin O'Leary said this. I got this from Kevin O'Leary. I got to give him credit. He says that he sees every single dollar as a soldier going into battle, going and work for you, going and fight for you. And whenever you see he does a bad investment or he sees a bad investment, he always says like that thing. I don't know if if you guys know Kevin O'Leary, take it behind the barn and shoot it. I love when he says that. He says like a moment of silence. Whenever he sees like a bad idea, he goes like a moment of silence for all the money lost just now.
but Kevin O'Leary said no to a bunch of good ideas too.
True.
This guy, I'm not saying this guy he's a very smart guy, but he's very good at what he's very good, and he knows what he knows. And there's a couple of examples of good businesses that he didn't invest in. Other dragons invested in them, and they made a lot of money, bro. They made a lot.
I want to ask the people in the chat because you have a few people watching. What do you guys think? What comes to mind when you guys think about money?
What is it for? What is money for you? Like that's the real question. What is money for you? If it's the centerpiece of your life, and you put goals in terms of like I want $100,000, I want $200,000, you won't make it. It's too like the way you see money. If you're like I want to make more, I just want to make more of it. You haven't visualized. You don't have a real picture of what it looks like. So therefore, you won't be able to get it because the way you see it as a
Or how we grew
one
up,
step
like some of our like we grew up like our parents gave us some education, and not all of our parents are as educated about money. And so they don't teach it in school. Like they don't teach you about money in school, right? So I feel like the majority of us don't really have a good picture about money, and they look that they gotta work and they gotta trade time for money. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people see it like go to school, get a good education, and trade time for money.
and wait for the boss to give you a promotion.
Wait for the boss to give, yeah, exactly.
That's
Train
how
and
you that's how you might win. So that's why people are scared when they see other people winning. They're like, he got the promotion, I didn't get it. It doesn't work that way. You're not supposed to wait for someone else to give you success in life.
You have to go get it yourself.
Money and success are two different things. You could be successful at something and not get paid yet for it. And that's the problem with people. They associate success with money directly. They're not necessarily like yes, well,
it's a little bit subjective though. I think like the definition of success is, I think it's a bit subjective. Like people have their own definition of it. Like some people might like it's like if you look in the mirror, are you happy with what you see? Type of thing. Are you happy with the person you are? Are you happy with yourself and where you're headed? And then if you can actually honestly look at yourself and be like, yeah, I'm happy, then who are you to say that that person is not successful if that person actually feels and thinks they are? Like when we think success, of course we think money, right? Because money is a direct measure of the value and the problem solving that we could do. It's not just like, oh, I have all this money.
Yeah,
When I
but
think about somebody who
it
just
comes
who wins the
after.
lottery, what about somebody who wins the lottery? Is somebody just randomly like they've been like just a regular,
So
you
that's the
know?
trap. I think it's the trap. I never spent any money on lottery. I never went to the casino. What does it say
But what
about me?
if though? What if like what would you say, Phil? If somebody is like just been living a normal, modest lifestyle, and they win the lottery, they win the $100 million lottery. Would you
I
say
think
they are
it's the
successful?
worst. No, I would say no. I would say no. They got lucky. Success is a different thing. Success is a different thing. You could be very successful in life and make $0. You could be very successful in karate and do karate at night and be great at it and beat people up on the tatami.
But
Very good at it, but it doesn't pay you.
Frankly says, don't spend less, make more. I don't know if you saw the comment here we have from one of our friends here.
Don't spend less, make more. What about spend less and make more?
Yep, I agree with that. But we put too much weight on try to save, try to save, try to save. As if
We
like
put
it's
too
the
much weight
easier
on that.
because it's the easier thing to do.
I've spent at the beginning of the like it all depends on where you are and like you have to know what you are doing at what time. When I started the company, Uninet, we were a startup. Obviously, we had things to buy. Like obviously, you're a startup. You need everything. You have nothing, so you need everything. But you need to know what you're doing. So while I was doing that, I was also commit to make the company a success. So I was not buying anything just like that. I was making my research on each piece of equipment, like all the way to the little brushes. I was committed to like make sure that we bought the good piece of equipment and that we tested it like in good environments. So we make sure that we have the good one. And for like if I was gonna buy a bunch of them, it's because we tested them and we knew they were good. So it's all that process that people when they start a business or when they're into business, they have a feel that they understand what the other guys is doing. Hey, they buy a lot of things. Yeah, yeah. Do you really know what they're doing? They're not just buying a lot of stuff. Maybe they've tested it and now they know, and you need to really analyze. Sometimes, like for us, I would say yes, we were buying a lot of things at the beginning, but if I compare myself to other businesses, we were very savvy in our choices. And we were trying different things, but not too much. And because most of the things that we tried at the beginning, we still have, and they're still in use. So I'm pretty happy with my like spending a lot thing. Now it's different because we're more on a like we're more in we're trying to like use everything up to 100%. All these tools we're trying to like we're more in, so we're buying less.
Do you
But
think you
it's
find your do you find you're spending money like knowing that okay because I'm accumulating all these expenses, I'm gonna have no choice to go find ways to pay it off or ways to raise more money?
no, because you
Or
need to
how do you see
attach, you
stuff? Do
need
you
to
like
write
just
up. There's a rule. You need yourself a rule to buy. Okay, you need to write it off. If you buy it, it's because you know you're going to write it off, either by a client or the government, or both. But you don't buy things just because you want to try it. If you like, that was my rule. We bought new pieces of equipment like the Zambonis. We bought Zambonis to because we knew we had like contract signed. So based on the contract, the price of the Zamboni was, and we would buy it. Most people would be scared. They would rent it or ask the client, you need to pay to get your own piece. Nah, bro. I straight to Crédit Buy, bro. I don't know how to say Crédit Buy. I think it's a lease.
But wouldn't it be a great
Lease
idea
agent.
is when you get that contract, at that point you go ahead and rent one for, I don't know, is there a minimum rental period? Just to make sure that the contract is going to be solid, and maybe you rent one for a month, 2 months, 3 months, whatever, and then go ahead and buy one. Like,
No, because
because like what happens if you buy the Zamboni because of a new contract that you made? You don't know if it's solid yet, unless you make them sign a yearly contract. Then that's a different story.
because these piece of equipment, like if you really want to talk about the
They take.
Zambonis in particular, they rent they rent very easily.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to be able to, if you maintain them well, you're going to be able to like hold on to them for a lot of years. They are a piece of equipment that you are 100% sure to make money with.
Okay.
Especially if you could get them like to a construction site. Construction sites, bro. Some of
Mm-hmm.
these construction sites, they need it very clean every night, so they will pay back very fast. But you need to calculate that. You need to make sure that it's right off. It will be written off by either like your clients, and you need to like calculate your things. But it's, yes, it's a risky investment. Yes, it might not repay itself faster than you thought, but you need to like give yourself the ability to calculate and make sure that you have all the options available in front of you. Not just oh, I can't because I'm scared of calling the guy for the lease, and know if I could lease these equipments, get them for, and how cheap would it cost you to actually buy them. Some of them, if you don't ask the question, you won't know. How much does it cost to actually buy my own equipment instead of renting it all the time? I see these guys, bro, struggling because they rent. Get yourself a proper storage space and buy your equipment. Just put it there. You all is cheap.
I guess if you're buying it for the job, you have to still be okay. Like for example, if the contract doesn't the contract goes sour, then you still like you have the fee to pay, right? For the
So that's another thing. That's trusting your ability that the contract won't go
But
sour.
even if it does go sideways, you still have to not be like you still have to be okay
Man, you need
with
to
the
you need
equipment
to
you just bought.
so it's trust in your systems, right? What you just said right there to me is covered by my trust in two systems. So my sales systems, I trust my sales guys to find me something else if anything happened, or like in between. While we're doing this contract, we're gonna be able to sell other ones. And if I sell this contract, I buy an equipment and we sell another one in between, and I have to buy another. I'll just go buy another one. I need to put my trust in my system and put myself this pressure. I need to take the risk. If I don't take the risk, I'm not going to put myself this pressure of pushing. Hey, we don't have much sales right now. What do we do? Well, we might hire someone else, like an extra guy, a sales guy, because we have stuff that's not being used right now. Our equipment is not used 100%.
That
It's
could be a good
potential.
business model. That is a good business model. I know people who are doing that business model, and they're buying equipment and renting it out. And I know they do super super well. They pay it off pretty quickly,
Of
and they
course,
charge a lot for the rent because you have the
if
maintenance on
the
those things. They're not cheap. They're not cheap to fix,
no,
as
if the
as you know.
But if you have your guy, it all depends on your ability to have your own systems and make sure that they're well rounded. So your sales guys, they know what to do, and my system of maintenance and making sure that these machines they go well rounded is, and my my you said if the
I feel like it's
contract
good to
goes
put that.
sour.
I feel like it's good to put yourself that pressure to because it's gonna when you put yourself in that crisis, you're gonna find ways to rent it out. You're gonna find ways to monetize it. It's the same thing when I bought my apartments. I was worried like, oh, but I'm gonna have all these apartments and like, what if I don't rent it out? I'm gonna have to pay. I still have to pay for the mortgage. I still have to pay for the electricity, the internet.
Exactly, it's the same
So
thing for you.
it's the same thing. So
So what do
it's
you do
like
when you
no,
buy a
it's
new apartment? You
this
go
is
to
what the,
war.
no,
You
this is what
go
I
to
did.
war
This is
after.
what I did. I said, you know what? Like I'm gonna buy it, and so I'm gonna have no choice to make sure that I make money with it. I have no choice. And so I put that stress on my back. It's a good stress. It's a good stress. You have to take risks like that. Otherwise, you're never gonna get past that point. You're never gonna get rich if you're too scared to take risks. You had to buy your Zamboni. You had to do it. If you didn't, I would have been like, bro,
Bro, how much
which
time how much time people are spending because I know, because I used to be that person. I used to be so hungry, man. Like I was wondering myself, like, why is it so hard for me? and it seems so easy for other people.
Mm.
And at some point, especially like later on in life, when I met my wife and I saw her doing so much, she was working with troubled kids. More on that later on. But my wife had a very tough job when I met her, and I was actually inspired. She was like, I was like, come. I was a bit. I felt. I was like, she doesn't complain. She never complains. I'm out there complaining about stuff that's way easier than what she has to do. And I was like, instead of like making excuses, maybe like I should try to change my mindset and really try and for sit down for real and really be on my computer and really try to like make it work. um, if it doesn't work, you talk to customer service, tell them it doesn't work, tell them to make it work for you, tell them that you need something or you're going to change. You're going to change I don't know, like you need to be
Bro,
hungry,
wait, I thought you were
but
talking
make it
about
do.
your wife. Like, about that. I thought you were
No,
talking about you call customer service on your wife, bro. What do you? I'm like, what does this guy say?
no, I'm talking about your business. You need to make it work,
Whoa.
you need to make it work, you need to make your
But
business
anyway,
work.
shout out to Shanna. She
she's
is a
a
champ.
she's a
Honestly,
warrior, she's a
she is a
fighter.
warrior. She is. Like
She is a
she
fighter.
does
You need to
everything. Takes
fight
care
for
of the
your
kids.
business.
She feeds you. She works on the business. She's shout out to Shan. She definitely works hard. She deserves it.
She's out there taking care of the kids while we're out here talking, guys. Like, that's it's all part of the thing. It's all part of your commitment to life. Like, do you really want to be happy? Ask yourself this question. Success is not all about money. Money makes you miserable most of the time. If you put your happiness in the hands of something that's so volatile, like every time someone's gonna tell, oh yeah, like 25% tariffs. Ask about the guy who was stressing about the tariffs.
Are you
25%.
still stressing
Donald
about that?
Donald
Are you
Trump's
still
coming
stressing?
with
Are you?
25% tariffs. If you put
The
yourself,
whole world's on fire. Oh,
you're gonna stress. You're
constant
gonna
state of stress.
constant. Yeah, exactly. Constant state of crisis. You can't function. You can't be creative. You can't find problems for your, like. Let alone find problems for your, like, solutions for your own problems. You need to be, if you want to create value. You need to be out there on the battlefield finding solutions for your clients. You need to be well and healthy to do that. If you want to be out there observing other people's businesses, even as a window cleaner, that's your job. If you're your own window cleaner, if you work for yourself, or if you're your own, like, you need to be out there finding solutions for your clients when they talk to you, and you need to be out there observing. If you're too focused on your own problems, you're not gonna.
You're not gonna have the creativity to solve problems.
No,
I
man, you're
couldn't
just
agree
gonna,
more.
like,
I've been there. I've been in that situation where it's like
hope
where you're
that the day
worried about
finishes.
something. You're worried about something. It's like
Yeah.
nothing works properly when you're too worried and stressed. It's like you don't work. Your brain doesn't work as it was intended to do. And we spoke a bit about meditation last time. You know, when you get into that state, I don't know if you've ever taken like a couple minutes to breathe deeply, and you get into this state of creative power. It's wild. It's like when you say your ideas, your best ideas come in the shower.
It's in the morning. I wake up super early. I love waking up early because it gives me, the more early I wake up fresh, because sometimes I need to, like, too early. Sometimes it's 3:30. Like, I need to calm down, bro. My wife's like, hey,
Adarsh
calm down.
asks, what strategies are we talking about? Right now, Adarsh, we're talking a bit about money. We're talking about like, what are your thoughts about money? How do you treat money?
Yeah. What's money to you? What's money to you? Is it the because we were talking about who's attaching money to success, and who thinks success is money. Success, it could be like a lot of things, and you could be out there doing something for 30 years and not be paid for it, and then you get recognized. People are like, hey, this guy did that for 30 years, he's the voice of it, like he pretty much created it. Like, you're money will come if you follow really what you're good at and what
And
you know.
stay consistent at it, and like show up even when you don't want to show up. That's the hack that I found out. It's not really a hack because you have to work at it, but the hack is that if you just show up every single day and you keep at it, it is a hack if you think about it, but it's still you got to sweat, you know.
When I wanted to do,
I agree with Darsh. Financial freedom is all what we're after, right? It's just the ability to do what we want when we want. It's not necessarily to have the castle,
but we
to
want
have
it
all
too
the
fast.
cars.
We want it too fast. We want it right now.
Financial freedom is where it's at. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know.
financial
Like,
freedom
I don't know
was,
about you guys, but I don't
but
mind
it
driving
doesn't.
a Honda Civic and not having to show up for somebody else and being able to travel whenever I want, being able to be on my own schedule, you know?
Okay, but let's be real. What you just said, homeless people, they live the same fucking shit. They live the same thing.
What do you
They're
mean?
out there. They're free. They're free. Everything's free.
Yeah, but
they
dude,
live for
they're
free.
out in the cold. It's not the same. They're how are they free? They don't have.
I'm
a roof
saying
over
if you
their
ask
head, they're
these
getting rained
guys,
on.
if
Those
you ask
guys,
these guys, because money's responsible.
those guys
Is
are
also
probably happy that
money is also responsibility. You buy a big house, $1 million house, it comes with responsibility. You're gonna have to keep pushing for a couple of years, bro. It's not like money is just freedom. Okay, if you have money, so much money aside,
well,
and
we
you
already
save
established that
it.
buying a house is a trap.
No, but
Buying a
what
house.
I
I don't
mean,
mean any
George,
disrespect or any offense to anybody who, like, obviously,
that's
you
not
know,
what
if
I'm
you want to buy a
saying.
house and you have a big family, go for it. But like, I mean, Grant talks about that all the time. How it's a
Okay,
trap.
but that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying like if you want to buy anything and be free to just buy everything you want and in life, and what I mean is it comes with responsibility. You just can't be like you're not just people think that it comes so easily to people. Okay, I'm Elon Musk. I have
Mm.
$353 billion now to my name. Yeah, it could lose it all
And
tomorrow.
it seems like an overnight success, but really, people didn't like. You don't see all the countless days
It needs
and
to keep
nights.
going. This shit needs to keep going, bro. It's not about making it, it's about maintaining it.
Right. Well, making it is the first thing, and then maintaining it is the
But
second.
how, when, tell me, George, when is the, because nobody told me yet, like, when do you know you have made it? Like, it's all made up in your brain. Like, there's no
But that's up to you to define it. That's up
wait.
to everybody to define it for themselves.
Okay, so bro, like, if that was the case, that would be it for me, because I have a family now. I'm married. I have a house. The only thing I need to do now is travel more. But if I to be honest, bro, at one point I'm gonna be 100% transparent with you. I've had that goals book that was I've made like a long time ago, 6, 7, 8 years ago, where I was not at the same place. And most of that book got filled up because all these goals I've accomplished, and I got a bit depressed. I was like, "Hey, man, like, what's next? Like, what's really nice?" And as soon as I was trying to like make it about money, it didn't make sense because I didn't need money. I had everything. I had everything I needed. I have everything I need. I have everything I wanted, ever wanted. I have the perfect family, perfect wife, perfect everything. I have a house. I have my backyard garden.
You have the
I
best partner that anybody could ask for.
Are you serious? I have a good team. I like, and I wrote that down at one point. I wrote everything down, and that's why they say write your goals down every day. I couldn't understand that at the beginning. I was like, writing your goals down every day is a bit too much. Well, it's because they change. It's because it's evolving, and it's evolving very fast,
Right.
faster than you could think. When you write it down, you start manifesting it in every part of your life. So faster than even I could believe it, I got everything I wanted. And now I need to be on to something else. So that's why just money, if you don't attach your goals to something else than just money. So let's say, okay, I want to 10x my business, right? So my business is, we're not to $1 million yet. It's been 3 years. We're not to $1 million. We downsized a little bit just to make sure that we optimize everything. So we, instead of just like pushing to money, bottom line, I was like, hey, let's downsize a little bit just to make things better. Why? Because I want to really make things right for our clients. Going too fast will make me lose at this game at some point. I need
Yep.
to really make this right for our actual clients that we had. At some point, I felt like we had some, we had some little problems at some with some contracts. I was like, hey, it's not time to like go bigger. We need to just downsize a little bit. Hey, I didn't slow down anything. We kept going with the sales. We kept going with the quotes. But instead of just focusing on like $1 million, more sales. I need to focus on really like what we're doing. You need to know what you're doing, why you started. That's where entrepreneurs, I feel like they lose it after some time. Why are we there? Because we really wanted to serve clients well, right? We started for that. We saw problems in the industry that we tried to solve. And now we're out there just pushing for money. Maybe, freedom and success also come. I feel it comes to you when you don't have so much things to pay. You don't have so much things to your name. You wait for that as long as you can, and that way you have the freedom to do anything you want because you cost like your fingerprint.
Absolutely right. And you know what?
It's so light.
Adar says that in a major city, it's all a trap when it comes to buying a home. Because
Yes.
imagine putting that burden, that responsibility to pay that huge mortgage payment.
Yes,
It
exactly.
also like you're working hard and you're spending your energy just to pay that off.
Exactly.
The taxes, the electricity, the mortgage, all the expenses, the maintenance, all the expenses that come with the house.
Just stay lean.
And you're
Stay
not
lean.
you're not keeping the creative energy to pursue and
Exactly.
to pursue growth because you're just there slaving away to pay off this house. That's why it's a trap. That's why buying a house is a trap. If you could, like, I'm not talking about people who are buying a house and renting out the bit, like my parents when they had their house on the house they used to have.
Gary Vaynerchuk is big on this. He's big on start small, think big, spend a lot of money on business and R&D and stuff that will pay off itself. Like I spent more money in cleaning tools and cleaning device and cleaning all that you want than vacation. And then like I don't know, like I haven't spent on like, and with people who say like, hey man, that's crazy.
It comes down to making sacrifices, especially at the beginning. Like as I was saying, like when you have a house, if you have a house and you're renting out the basement and the basement is covering your mortgage, more power to you. You don't have that stress to make those payments for the house. Your tenant's effectively paying off your expenses and you have the creative energy to do other things. And I personally have a 3-bedroom apartment. One of my apartments that I own is 3 bedrooms, and people look at me like I rent out the bedrooms. I share the house with people. It's called house hacking. I share the apartment with people, and some people look at me like, "Why would you want people in your house? Doesn't it make you uncomfortable?" Not at all. Like sometimes I cross paths with them in the hallway. Sometimes the people are chill, and sometimes they're not chill. Like, well, not when I say not chill, I mean sometimes they're just to themselves. Like because I do it on Airbnb, right? So I filter which guests can come. I filter 5-star reviews only. And yeah, okay, you look at it like, oh, you want to share your house with people. It's okay, but at the end of the day, I don't ever have to stress about paying the expenses. The expenses are paid off for themselves. Now I could focus that energy on building my real estate portfolio.
So it's a different success. It's a different success. That's where
But we agreed about not having those, because what you said makes total sense. What you said before about not having a lot of payments.
Yeah, it's freedom, bro. Like people, like that's why, like what his name is. Sorry,
spend
Adash.
Your money on cash.
Adash said, bro, like freedom. Yes, more money is freedom, but think about having the same as you have right now, but downsizing to a point where you have actually more money for the things you really want. So that's why making success a priority to your life and making sure that your goals are being attained, it changes the perspective. It changes the angle completely. You're like, hey man, like maybe I spend a little too much on the left and I really want it on the right. You start that way. You start with what you have. You never start by making more. I started with what I had. What I had was my decision to make it what what it became right now, because I didn't have like 40K incoming. Hey, we have 40K now. What are we gonna do with this? Maybe we should start a business. Okay. No, I was minus. I was going down. I had to start something during the pandemic that was gonna be working during a pandemic. I had nothing else. I had brooms in my garage, and I was like, hey, I have brooms and I have a prayer in my head that I could make it work.
I love that.
Let's make it work.
I love how you took accountability and you didn't just sit back like a lot of people did during the pandemic and say, "Oh, there's no work, there's no work."
I saw my wife.
How you, and that's
we
how
just
people,
got married, and I was like,
people
hey,
need
let's
to
make it
be.
work. We need to
You're like,
make
okay,
this work.
we're in a pandemic now. What works in a pandemic? Cleaning, disinfecting offices, and
8
it's
months
inspiring.
later, we were hiring like 15 people. 8 months later,
It's amazing,
at
man.
lights to clean the 100,000 square feet, plus other things, plus the construction sites, plus the 12 months later, we were not even thinking about 12 months prior. Like, we were too busy, man. Like, it was too crazy. At peak, this company had 35 employees, and we're 3 years in. 3 years in. Some people, like, and people ask, how do you did it? How do you? I don't know. I really don't know, man. Like, we did it. I will do it again. Now I know. Now I know. Now I have the trust. Now
Now
I
you
know.
know the recipe, you know the code, you know it, you know how it works, and it really takes that one big contract, and right there you could 15. You need 15 employees. Boom, let's go. And it's like you
It's
can't
scary.
imagine this. You can't imagine this until you start it, right? And look at only what 2 years in, and already you have 15 employees. It's hard to imagine until you
Yes.
start and you do the same thing every single day. You show up every single day, and
That's
then you
the
start
thing.
getting
You need to.
success.
It's not like commitment. I feel for some people, commitment, they do that once a year, like at the 1st of January, they commit. Like, yeah, this year, like this phrase, this sentence. This year, I'm going to. Oh, sorry, bro. This year? No, 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 no. It has to be today. Like,
Today, yesterday, fuck.
and you need to recommit every single day to ensure you stay on track. You can't just be like, hey, this year, and then next week, what are you gonna do? The same thing you were doing last week. The same thing you were doing in 2022, 2023, 2020. You
It's
did
not, it's the same thing with this. But we talk about it a lot, but I love it. We've grown. We've done this podcast for like 3 months, four
yeah.
months, not even, but consistently every single day. And you can see already we have more viewers, we have more chats, we have more comments. We didn't have this at the beginning. We had 0 people watching us,
Zero. We had to commit
and
every day, bro. We
every
had to
single day.
commit to something that gave us nothing.
And
No money.
I'm also gonna give you a shout out. That's also the importance of having a good partner who um sometimes you don't feel like it. I've said this last time. Sometimes you don't feel like it. 5 times a week. No, fuck it. We're doing it 5 times a week. Okay,
True.
fine. And
How good
like
is your partner? Chat. How good is your partner? Who's your partner?
you guys need to
If
have
it's
a good team. That's
yeah,
number
I feel
one.
like team is
You can't win without a team. You can't win without a team because you're competing against other people, other
other
teams out
teams.
there. If you're like solopreneur, it could work if you're doing your little hobby and you're okay with, being minimalistic.
If $75,000 a year brings you freedom, and you have a lifestyle that that makes you super happy and super free in your life with your 75,000 as a solopreneur, I feel like you found success. You've got it.
Thank you so much, Adarsh. Really, we appreciate those comments a lot. Honestly, this is why we do it. I'm very grateful for you watching our show and commenting, and if you don't mind subscribing, liking, it definitely helps with the algorithm. But this is the stuff we like to hear, bro.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
That's why we're here. Actually, that's basically
Like
why
this
me
is
and
this
George
is we spoke a
chose
bit
to.
about what success is. Like this is it. Like when you're helping, like your content is valuable. Like what you're saying is valuable. Other people find it entertaining and valuable. I think it's really heartfelt. So thank you. Appreciate the comments. But yeah. What else I wanted to speak about? We obviously always talk about success. Excuses
Bro,
block your potential. Excuses, Phil.
bro, I've spoke about this at the beginning. I feel like we all fall for that. We're all in. I feel we're. It's not a category of people. I hear sometimes some like, and even us at the beginning, we're saying these people,
Enjoy
that people.
your meal at Darsh. Be back if you want. You can come back tomorrow. We do this every single day, Monday to Friday, at 5:15 p.m. Montreal time. What time zone is that?
Eastern time.
But yeah,
New York
enjoy. We'll see you tomorrow, my friend. Take care.
Take care, man. Nice to see you.
Sorry, bro. Sorry I cut you.
No problem. No. I was just thinking, like, it's a very human thing to do. It's very comforting to give yourself excuses. I think we all do it. We're like, people who say I don't give out excuses, they're liars. We're all doing it at some level. The thing is, just it's okay. It's okay to, like, to have excuses, and it's just to be aware of it and just, like, understand where it comes from. If you're aware of it, you're doing the right thing. You're actually like on the path of improving and resolving and growing. It's all about knowing where the excuse comes from. Like, where what is it fixing? You're obviously trying to, like, cover up something. So that's what you need to do. You need to understand what you're trying to cover up, and you'll fix it. You'll fix it.
It always leads back to taking accountability. It solves that problem, because no matter whose fault it is, whether it was your fault or my fault, I'm responsible in some way. So what can I do to fix it? When we start taking the accountability, as you said, as Adarsh repeated in the comments, like, that victim mindset doesn't exist. It's just like, okay, like, what's my role in this? How can I sort of fix this so the next time, it doesn't happen again? Like, we always have a role to play in every situation, whether or not it was our fault. So I think number one, to not for the excuses and blaming people, just take accountability no matter what.
Yeah, if you're late, just say, "Hey, I'm late.
That's it.
I got late. I should have."
Yeah. The traffic. This. We all have a tendency of. We
Man.
all have the tendency. It's human nature. We all do it.
We all do it, bro.
We all do it, man. I'm just as guilty
I
of
left
that.
1 hour 45 before, bro.
Yeah, but it's okay. Note it.
Now
and
you know.
and then
just say, "Hey, it was my first time trying. Now I know that I need to leave a lot earlier." That's the real answer. That's the real answer. People will love you for that, and like, real triers and real leaders in life don't like excuses, and people, like, they've put up with all these things, and they showed up, and you're out there saying, "Hey, me, I couldn't because." They're not gonna appreciate that.
you didn't miss it, Mr. Bitcoin. We're still here.
We're still
here for. We'll go. I thought we were gonna end it a bit earlier today because it was late, but we're gonna keep going for another 15 minutes, bro. Thank you for coming, Mr. Bitcoin. Appreciate it.
15, 20. Yeah, let's go. I think you need to commit first. If you commit first, nobody's gonna commit for you. Like, I've seen this, like, I've seen this all the time. People are waiting for a sign. They're waiting for someone else to tell them, "Yeah, that's a good idea. You should do it." They're waiting for ChatGPT to tell them, "Yeah, it's great. Should do it." If you start committing to your idea first, like, nobody could tell me that Uninet was a good idea, because it's an overcrowded market. It's a very hard market. Obviously, everybody's trying to do start a cleanup company during. I was not special. My company was not special.
No, don't say that. Don't fucking say that. You are special. because
Yes, now, but
you're
at the
still
beginning,
part,
like,
in my opinion, you're still, I don't even know if this is an opinion, I'm pretty sure this is a fact, you're still part of that 1% or 2-3% who
thank you so much. But I
it
mean, at
doesn't.
the beginning, I mean, really, at the beginning, we were not special. I should have said. I didn't pronounce.
I disagree totally, wholeheartedly disagree.
I think at the beginning we were just trying to do cleaning. We didn't know what was the competition like. We didn't know yet what was in front of us, but we committed. We were in the parking lot. We're like, are we doing this? We're doing this. And I didn't wait for like good signs or whatever. If I had wait and if I had search, is it a good Chat GPT? Tell me if this is a good idea. Well, Chat GPT is going to tell you it's a idea because there's like, oh, it's overcrowded. There's a lot of people. It's going to change. It's going to bias your mind and you're going to stop. Is it really what you're trying to do right now? Is the real question that you need to ask yourself and not ask anyone else. Do you want to really, like, is it real? Are you really trying to do that? First step, commit.
And don't wait for the details to align.
Nope.
Don't wait for it. Just take the step and commit and do it every single day. Take the next. You know where you're headed. You know the next step you want to take. Just take the next step, and just enjoy the ride. Enjoy it. It's fun. If you really think about it, it's fun. It's like
fun.
Life is so fun. It's like we're in a video game and we're building our character up.
That's it.
We're
You
getting
take
smarter.
the leap.
We're reading books.
Boom.
We're putting them into action. It's a lot of fun. Life should not be stressful.
So if you don't think about money,
it's so fun. You
should
think about money because, like Adarsh was saying earlier, like I think it was Adarsh who was saying, like you have money to help your loved ones, to help the people around you. That's pure happiness. That's pure bliss. Imagine helping the people you care about.
But it's so weird that like during the process of building Uninet, I was really not, because listen, I had no money. When the pandemic hit it, I was not in the position to help anyone, bro. I had to reimburse all my clients from consultation. People who were trying to buy businesses, they were not trying to buy businesses anymore. So I had to reimburse them all the deposit that they gave me. I had to give it back, which was the right thing to do, right? So I gave back at least for more than $14,000 worth of deposit. I had at the end, the only money that I had left was good for half a year of payments. That was my reality during the pandemic. I remember the first thing I did was crying. I started crying. I was like, what am I going to do? And my wife was on the phone because she was happy because she was not working anymore. She's like, they closed the school, and she was working with like I said, with the kids in school and everything. So she was happy. She was paid and she was at home. She was like, hey, don't worry.
So bad.
Don't worry. Like, it's fine. We're going to find a solution. Don't worry. And that's why she's the warrior. That's why she's the key player in this thing, because she was my key partner. I had a good partner. That's why it's important to have a good partner. I had a good one. She told me that. I went outside. I really thought about it. I was like, hey, what would the first thing I asked me, what would be the thing I would have said to my client? Because I was a consultant. I was helping clients getting their business right. So I was like, if I had clients in that situation, I did not. But if I had clients in that situation, my clients were doing way better than me at that point. They were like, they had their business going on. I had that guy who had a cleaning business. He was going super fine. And I was like, man, that's what I need to do.
I like that you mentioned that about your wife, because having a solid partner, we spoke about having a good team and having a good partner, and we talk about committing to success in all areas of life, not just finance, not just money, but marriage, partnerships, obviously finances, spirituality. Like who was it? Was it Mr. Bitcoin yesterday that was saying like all the pillars and health? I don't know if I didn't mention health.
Yes.
It's important to take care of all those pillars, not just one. We need to take care of our health. We need to take care of the finance. We need to take care of our spiritual life and our relationships, marriage.
Money will come. If you
Money
take
will
care of
come.
all of this, you
Yeah.
think you'll stay broke for long? If you take care of all of this, your wife, you take care of her, you take care of, like, if you really take good care of yourself, it won't be long. It will come.
Hmm.
If you have
Yep.
success in stuff that you do at home and you start there, money will come. So I feel like it's just two lines. People think it's the same line. It's two lines, and they just intersect each other's at one point. They get together at one point. But you need to first start with aligning yourself, commit to one thing, and do it. Say what you like. Do what you said you were gonna do.
Yep. And can I give you an example of that? And that I got it from you, my friend. So sometimes in the past, I would start something and I would just drop it. I would start something and drop it. And if I'm not mistaken, it was that principle I got it from you. And this new book that we started reading, the 10X Mentor, I wanted to drop it. But I'm like,
Oh yeah, it's true.
I wanted to drop it not because I don't like what's being said, but just because I find it's a bit repetitive and it's similar to our Wednesday session when we talk about Winners Wednesday. We talk about Grant Cardone's 10X. It's pretty similar information. So I was like, then I'm like, nah, man. We're seeing this through the end. We're seeing it through the end. So I like
You
that.
start something, you finish it.
You start it, you finish it. I was
And
never like that in my life, by the
you
way.
get
I
your
was
brain to finish things
because your
all the
brain's
time.
kind of like trying to talk you out of it. Oh, it's not good. It's not good. And your brain does that, and that's okay. But discipline, that's where discipline takes over. The discipline is the most important because
You know
that's what's
what?
going to
What
keep you
keeps
going.
you know what keeps human like going and happy for a long time? Like big challenges, big like when your limits are not pushed yet, and you don't know your limit yet. You just want to know. You just want to know what is your limit.
Mm-hmm.
But you will never know if you
You'll
never
never know.
try, and you never push. Wake up in the morning 3:30, go
Yeah.
run. I did that. I actually pushed myself to I had a knee I had a knee. I couldn't run, bro. I couldn't walk. I pushed myself to too much, and I had to. But I know now that my limit is 21 or 22 days going to run 5 kilometers every day. That was too much. Now I know it's too much. Now I know I need to do like every 2 days 5K.
Okay, but wait, let me say something. So if you actually wanted to run more, if you actually wanted it bad enough, you would be able to do it.
I will do it. I love running. I love running in the winter.
So I wouldn't say that's your limit.
No. I just meant like I was trying to run every day 5 kilometers. That was just too much. But like, what did I learn there? Like, okay, 5K every day is just too much for you, my friend. My knees couldn't take it. I had a problem to my. I went to the doctor. He told me, hey, you're pushing yourself a little too much here.
Bro, that's the smart thing to do. I
Yes.
took a 1 week off. I'm actually on a 1 week break from the gym because I've been having my back's been hurting. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna take 1-2 weeks off. I'm gonna do yoga. I'm gonna stretch, and then I'm gonna heal myself. You have to heal yourself. It's important. It's not because I'm lazy. I don't want to go to the gym. I had to talk myself into this. That's how dedicated I am in going to the gym. That's how disciplined I am. I had to talk myself. It's okay. Don't worry. You're only gonna miss 1 week. How crazy is that? It's like the opposite of some people have to. Most people have to
But
talk to themselves to go, and I'm like talking myself to take a break.
but some people never try. I think that's what's dramatic. Some people never try because they saw other people like hurting themselves. I am not a runner, but I really wanted to run. And people were telling me, it's too much, it's too much, it's too much. Yeah, but I just wanted to know, bro. I know. So I've hurt myself. I went to full recovery, but now I know what to do next to not hurt myself so I could keep going for longer. Um, if you never try, you never get to know anything about yourself. You never get to know like how hard you could go. Now I know how hard I could not go because it's too hard. It's the same thing in business. Like, you get to know your limit and you just adjust and you fix it. Okay, you get hurt a little bit. Did I die because I ran too much? No, like I've hurt my knee. Now I need to go back with a better plan. I will. And what's gonna happen? I'm just gonna run for longer. Next time, I'm just gonna run for longer. If you don't take, but you first to be able to know that and to be able to go for longer, people will ask like, how good are you? Like, how did you go so? How could you go for so long? Because first time I went too hard, a little bit too hard. Now I adjusted. If you go too small, you just get bored.
Yeah.
You stop doing it because it's boring, bro. Like, you need to jump and just like put yourself in the cold water. Jump, take the leap. Otherwise, I feel like you stay stagnant. You just keep doing the same thing. You're like,
But
oh
in order
no.
to be excited like that, to keep going, it needs to be attached to a greater purpose. You need to have purpose. Like, why am I doing this? Money is, is not enough. You have to
It's
attach it.
true.
You have to attach it to a bigger purpose.
I'm
Like
34 years
like
old. I want
want
to
to
have a
make.
body that keeps me like very like I want to have I have 2 kids. I want more kids. Like, I have to like
I want to have the body so I can pick up my kids. That's amazing. That's an
yeah,
amazing purpose.
100% to pick up my kids, to play with them, to go play soccer, not be tired. I don't like being tired at 34 years old. So keeping my body tight for me is more times quality with my kids. So I attach. You're right. You're absolutely right. I attached it with something that I really. So when I run, and that's why I ran to crutches. Like, I literally ran to crutches. I had to like walk with crutches for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I really had to stop. If you actually go on my Instagram, you're gonna see the 21 days. I actually had my GoPro the full time. I documented it. I was trying to like
Yeah, I
document it.
remember.
Yeah, I did that for 21 days and I hurt myself. The crutches. I had to stop. Okay, it's not like okay. Some people would say that's failure. You failed. You said you were gonna run every day.
Hey, Sebo. How
I've
are you,
I've
man?
ran every day until failure, until knee failure. Okay.
Our Sebo says careers.
Now
We
now
always. Sorry, bro. Go ahead.
no problem, no problem. And now I know how to run for longer without knee problems, because I didn't know I had a knee problem. Now I know I have knees just like my mom. You know, my knees they make water. I want to get into it, but now I know I have a knee problem. I have a brace. I'll wear my brace. I have a new tool to fix my. So it's the same thing in business. It's the same thing. You learn as you go. But if you stay there and you're scared of trying something, investing your money in marketing, listen, I've invested more money in marketing, in dumb marketing, than I would, than I'm actually ready to admit. Okay, I invested in more stupid, dumb agencies who wasted all my money, and now I know what to do.
Why do you think we're scared to try? I think somebody said it yesterday. We're scared to try because we're scared of failure.
Because of
Think
budget.
about it. In the grand scheme of things, we're on a little speck of dust floating in outer space. We're a piece of nothing if you really look from an outside perspective. Why are we like, I swear to God, this is my coping mechanism whenever I'm like scared, whenever I'm thinking I'm scared of what are people going to think. You know what
Maybe
I
I
think to
think it's more
myself?
that. I
When I
think
think,
people.
when I, wait, let me finish this point. Whenever this is a trick for me, maybe you guys might find it useful. The vastness of the universe. I always come back to this. I'm scared about what people are going to think. I look at us from the far, like, and like from, I know sometimes my brain works in a weird way, but we're a little piece of shit, a little piece of dust. And we're worried we're not going to be here in a few years. When I say that, we're not going to be here eventually. Nobody's going to remember us, and we're just not going to exist anymore. We have this one life to live. Why are we not like? Why are we thinking like this? What are we scared? Why are we scared about failing? Why does our brain work like this? Anyways, with that being said, it's already 1 hour. I don't know if you had any other things you wanted to add there real quick.
guy.
Bitcoin says in his Grand Marquis, lol. Good old days, my friend. That's when I met you, the Grand Marquis days.
And bro, like I was not scared. It's funny because he talks about that, but I just like I was in my 20s. I wanted to have fun. I really took advantage. Like I really took advantage of my 20s and made sure that I was not doing anything that could hurt anybody. By the way, like I was doing burnouts, but like that was just a little smoke.
You would never hurt a fly. You still
No.
wouldn't. You're not that type.
No, it was just
Never
like
would
the Canadians won against Boston, and it was time to make them a little smoke show, you know.
Well,
But
thank
hey,
God. I hope Adarsh is not here. Adarsh is from Boston. I hope you didn't hear that.
sorry about that. Oh man, that's funny. All right, man. So yeah, it's true. We gotta I gotta
Yeah,
go.
so
Man.
we're good now. We made a commitment every day. 5:15. 5:15 we start the live.
5:15 c'est là que ça se passe.
Yeah, 5:15 Montreal time.
So see you tomorrow, guys. Tomorrow is we have an interview. Do we have someone?
I'm gonna text my friend to see if he's coming.
Okay, so it's a surprise. We'll
Yeah.
see you tomorrow. All right.
Style Fridays. All right, my friends. Take care.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys. Ciao, ciao.
Have a good night.